Hello, my dear students. Today we will start a new chapter from your history section, The Great Uprising or the Revolt of 1857. In the second chapter, we discussed how the Battle of Plassey and the Battle of Buxar was a game where game changers. For the British East India Company as far as its administration in India was concerned. When was the Battle of Plassey fought? In the year 1757, and we can say that the British East India Company started its rule in India after the Battle of Plassey, right? 1757. So 100 years of British rule, right, was enough for Indians to know the main motive or the agenda behind the British East India Company. Nearly 100 years of British presence in India had made all sections of Indian society very unhappy. All the sections of the Indian society was very, very unhappy with the British East India Company, with the British rule. The rulers resisted the annexation of the territories. The British East India Company was expanding its territories and annexing many kingdoms. Annexing many kingdoms from the Indian kings. The noblemen were angered by the loss of their zamindaris. The noblemen were angered, by the loss of zamindaris. They were losing their land rights. The peasants hated the exploitative system of revenue collection. We have already discussed about the revenue collection policies of the East India Company and how it was exploitative and how it was affecting our Indian peasants, right? The tribal people feared a threat to their livelihood. The craftsmen were against the new economic policies which suddenly exposed them to competition with goods from abroad. So each and every section of the Indians, each and every section of the Indian society was angered with the British East India Company. It was each and every section of Indian society was angered with the various policies and schemes of the East India Company which were exploitative in nature, which were exploiting the Indian society, the Indian people. Not only the common people, not only the peasants, but also the ruling class and the noblemen of India. Now let us understand the political cause. One of the most important causes of the revolt of 1857. The most important political cause is the policy of doctrine of lapse. Now let us understand what is the policy of doctrine of lapse. This policy was introduced by Lord Dalhousie. And under this policy, if an Indian king did not have his biological son, if he did not have his own biological son, after his death, the kingdom would automatically come under the British East India Company's rule. This was the policy of doctrine of lapse. Alright, and it was because of this policy that Jhansi ki Rani Lakshmi Bai had fought against the British rule. Another cause was the British annexing the Indian territories. The main motive of the East India Company was business, and for business it was very important for them to expand their territory. Alright, so the British East India Company was expanding its territories. In order to expand, they were annexing the Indian kingdoms, and as a result the Indian kingdoms were displaced. The Indian kings, the Indian rulers were displaced. The Mughal kingdom was all but gone. And those kings who did not want to lose their kingdom had to accept the subsidiary alliance. Now what is the subsidiary alliance? The Indian king would disband his army, would disband his defense, and his defense will be provided by the British East India Company. And in return of the protection that the British East India Company would offer him. Alright, so now see, for any kingdom to be protected, for any country to be protected, the defense is very important, right? The army, the soldiers are very important. So under this subsidiary alliance, the Indian king had to disband his soldier. Alright, so when the Indian king accepted the subsidiary alliance, he could remain as the king of the kingdom. Alright, his kingdom won't be confiscated, but he has to accept the subsidiary alliance. Now under this subsidiary alliance, the king had to disband his army. Okay, and once he disbands his army, he is completely vulnerable to attacks, right? So his kingdom will be protected by the British army, by the British soldier. The British will provide him the protection. All right, and in lieu of this protection that the British is providing to the king had to look after the British army, had to look after their fooding and lodging and also their salary. All right, so although the king, no, he was a king only for namesake. He was the king of the kingdom, but the control, the administration of the kingdom was with the British East India Company. Okay, you have read in chapter 2 that Lord Dalhousie annexed Awadh in 1856. The annexation was greatly resented since the Nawabs of Awadh had always been loyal to the British. So in 1856, the British East India Company captured Awadh, and after this capture, the Nawab of Awadh became very, they were dissented, they were unhappy, they resented, they were unhappy with the British East India Company because the Nawabs are always loyal to the British East India Company. The annexation was seen as an act of betrayal and backstabbing by the British. It deeply hurt the sentiments of the people, particularly the sepoys, because most of them were from Awadh. For the people of Awadh, for the Nawabs of Awadh, for the sepoys, for the soldiers of Awadh, it was a betrayal. All right, according to the Nawabs of Awadh and the people of Awadh and the soldier of Awadh, the British East India Company, by capturing Awadh, had betrayed the people of Awadh. Okay, this was the political cause for the revolt of 1857. So in today's class, we understood two important causes for the revolt of 1857 or the Great Uprising, and these two causes are the economic cause and the political cause. Hope you have understood this. In the next class, we will discuss the other causes for the Great Uprising. Thank you.